news has just broken that the Ballon d'Or is being restructured this year. I have my colleague Sam Jones here to explain it to us.
Yeah, they've announced that the Ballon d'Or will now be counted off a season, not off a calendar year. That's a lot of people have been wanting that for a while, and it's been something that's been a topic in the news, especially around the time of the Ballon d'Or. Basically means that the 2022 award will now be based on the 21-22 season rather than 2022 as a whole year. And it does mean that international tournaments are going to get less weight in the Ballon d'Or. Like the World Cup won't be based on this year's award, it will be going towards the next year's award. But the AFCON will go towards this year's award, which is going to be big for players like Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. And it also means that, well, they've also changed the fact that now only the top 100 countries in the FIFA rankings can vote for the Ballon d'Or. And they've added Didier Drogba to the panel of people who decide who's eligible to win the Ballon d'Or.
Okay. The main thing that comes to my mind after hearing that is that the Ballon d'Or is still being held at the end of the year, but they're basing it off of the season before. And, you know, let's take this year, for example. There is a World Cup between the end of the season and when they're doing the judging. Surely that is going to bias the judges in some way. It's inevitable.
Well, it's undoubted that people are going to have that in the front of their minds, but they are also told to not take it into account. So there's only a certain amount you can do. Obviously, it would make more sense to move the ceremony to, say, July, but that's often when the international tournaments are going to be. So that's impractical, but it would work this year. It does, obviously, the big impact there is the international tournaments won't impact the year that you'd think they'd impact like they used to. But it also means that the winners in past years would probably be different. Like Messi probably wouldn't have won it because the Copa America would not have counted, and probably it would have been Lewandowski or someone of that measure.
So the other thing that came to my mind is the end of last year, September till December last year. Is that going to be, because it counted as last year's Ballon d'Or, is that going to be counted as this year's Ballon d'Or as well?
It looks that way. Basically, going to take the season as a whole. And obviously, a lot of players have had a great start to the year and maybe might tail off a bit at the end. So they've got to take the entire thing into account. And if they're going to make this change, the overlap was going to come at some point. But it was never not going to happen. So why not now?
And ultimately, do you think this is for the best?
It probably is for the best, yeah, because people get biased on, well, they had a bias of if they had a great August to December but a terrible second half of the season prior, people only thought of, wow, they've been playing amazingly recently, they must be up for the Ballon d'Or. Like we've seen that in the past, maybe they've not won it, but it's been biased. So probably the change overall is a positive one.
Are there any players that you can think this benefits this season?
Definitely Mo Salah and Mane. Getting to the AFCON final for Salah and winning the AFCON for Mane. Both were two of the best players at the tournament and both are having sensational seasons with Liverpool. So it will favour them slightly. Unfortunately, the AFCON is the only international tournament that is going to weight this one, which gives them a slight edge, but they've also won the Carabao Cup and other things. But the winners of the Champions League will also see a big boost, most likely, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in that competition.
Okay.